Italian progressive rock wasn't just a movement. It was a creative explosion that challenged musical and emotional boundaries. From North to South Italy, bands created visionary works, blending virtuosity, lyricism, and boldness. In this first episode, we celebrate names that represent this golden age with intensity and brilliance. We've left out renowned names like Premiata Forneria Marconi, Banco del Mutuo Soccorso, and Orme, who will be in the next parts of the series, to highlight bands that, although less remembered in lists and debates, created works equally memorable and essential to the genre. Prepare to dive into incredible bands of Italian prog rock.
Davanti agli occhi miei cantano i New Trolls.
New Trolls was one of the most versatile and ambitious bands in Italian progressive rock. Formed in the late 60s, it managed to transition naturally between psychedelic pop, hard rock, and classical music. Its founding members, Vittorio Descalzi and Nico Di Palo, led the group with striking voices and refined musicality. The group is known for its bold experimentations and the fusion of rock with symphonic elements, which marked one of the most creative periods of Italian prog. The classic lineup also featured Gianni Belleno on drums, Giorgio D'Adamo on bass, and Maurizio Salvi on keyboards, each contributing to the sonic richness that defined the Trolls sound. The album Concerto Grosso per I New Trolls, released in 1971, is one of the most iconic works of symphonic progressive rock. Written in collaboration with Maestro Luis Enriquez Bacalov, the record blends electric rock with Baroque music, creating a true suite in 3 movements. It is essential listening for those seeking beauty, audacity, and sophistication.
Wishing you to be so near to me.
Latte, Miele emerged in Genoa in the early 70s with an ambitious and refined proposal. Its founding members, Oliviero Lacagnina, Marcello Giancarlo della Casa, and Alfio Vitanza, created a deeply symphonic sound with clear influence from Bach and British rock, like Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. The band became known for its fusion of rock, sacred music, and classical elements, using biblical narratives and long progressive suites. With complex instrumentation and the use of choirs, harpsichords, and synthesizers, the group achieved a grandiose sound, simultaneously dramatic and contemplative. The album Passio Secundum Matteum from 1972 is a progressive interpretation of the Passion according to the Gospel of St. Matthew. Divided into movements, the album combines narrated passages with instrumental bursts, liturgical choirs, and virtuoso solos. A work of the highest caliber, transcending the boundaries between classical music and rock. Maxophone emerged in Milan in the mid-70s, bringing a refined sound full of layers and nuances. With only one studio album released in its original lineup, the band quickly stood out for its instrumental sophistication and meticulous arrangements. Its members were extremely skilled musicians, including Alberto Ravassini, Sergio Lattuada, and Maurizio Bianchini. The band's sound mixed symphonic progressive rock with elements of jazz, classical music, and even Italian folk. The variety of timbres, using horn, clarinet, flutes, and pianos, gave the group a unique character, making it a rare gem within the progressive scene of the time. The self-titled album Maxophone, released in 1975, is considered one of the most beautiful records of European symphonic prog. With emotive compositions and flawless arrangements, the work balances lyricism and virtuosity. Each track is a little symphony, where everything is meticulously crafted, resulting in a dense and engaging listening experience. You need to check out our list of 20 guitar giants who were extremely influential within blues and modern music in general. Click on the card appearing at the top of your screen. Il Balletto di Bronzo was born in Naples and transformed radically over the years, eventually arriving at a dark, enigmatic, and extremely creative sound. Led by the charismatic keyboardist and vocalist Gianni Leone, the band broke with patterns and delved into more experimental side of progressive rock. Leone, along with Vito Manzari on bass and Gianchi Stendhal on drums, developed a dense and almost claustrophobic sound, filled with distorted keyboards, abrupt changes in tempo, and theatrical vocals. The band was pure intensity, with compositions that demanded the listener's full attention. Released in 1972, the album is an absolute classic of Italian Prog, a sinister rock opera inspired by a mythical sunken city that mixes chaos, virtuosity, and introspection. Its movements are like chapters of poetic nightmare, making this album a unique, complex, and unforgettable experience. Area was one of the most daring and politicized bands in Italian progressive rock. Formed in 1972, it brought a powerful fusion of jazz rock, ethnic music, experimentalism, and activism. Its vocalist, Demetrio Stratos, was a true vocal phenomenon, capable of impressive techniques and visceral performances. Besides Stratos, the classic lineup featured Patrizio Fariselli on keyboards, Giulio Capiozzo on drums, Patrick Givas, who was later replaced by Arista Volazzi on bass, and Paolo Tofani on guitar. The band's sound was explosive, often challenging, reflecting the chaos and political unrest of the 70s in Italy, an artistic cry against the system, loaded with genius. The debut album, Arbeit macht frei, 1973, is a sonic manifesto. Its provocative title evokes the phrase used at the gates of Auschwitz, denouncing oppression and alienation. Musically, it's a mix of avant-garde jazz, heavy funk, and unsettling dissonances. A record that isn't just heard. It confronts, provokes, and transforms. Goblin is one of the band's most recognized for its contribution to horror cinema, especially alongside director Dario Argento. Initially formed as Cherry 5, the band soon changed its name and delved into the dark universe of soundtracks. Claudio Simonetti, keyboardist and main composer, was the brain behind their hypnotic and atmospheric sound. The lineup that recorded their most iconic albums also included Massimo Morante, Fabio Pignatelli, and Agostino Marangolo, combining progressive rock, electronica, funk, and horror scores. Goblin created a unique sonic identity, immediately recognizable. Released in 1976, the album Roller is an entirely instrumental work outside the world of films and shows the band in complete creative freedom. Cinematic atmospheres, sophisticated grooves, and electronic textures create a soundscape that moves between the elegant and the sinister, an essential record for understanding Goblin's genius beyond the screen. Osanna, also from Naples, was a band that pioneered the union of progressive rock with theatrical and visual elements. With performances that mixed music, costumes, and staging, the group was led by Lino Vairetti, who commanded vocals and guitar with dramatic intensity. Their fusion of Mediterranean tradition and psychedelia was unique. The classic lineup included Elio Danna on wind instruments, Danilo Rustici on guitar, Massimo Guarino on drums, and Lello Brandi on bass. Osanna navigated diverse paths, from jazz to hard rock, from folk to psychedelic, with surprising transitions and great expressiveness. The band also stood out for its commitment to Italian culture and roots. The album Balletto from 1973 is considered the group's artistic peak. With only 3 long tracks, the record is a dense and fragmented journey, full of rhythmic changes, poetry, and improvisation, inspired by the ancient history of Naples. It is a visceral and complex album that condenses all the band's audacity and identity. Are you enjoying this list? Like the video, share it with your friends, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more content like this. Metamorfosi began as a beat band but found its true artistic identity by diving into symphonic and conceptual progressive rock. Led by the powerful vocals of Jimmy Spitaleri, the group stood out for its religious themes, grandiose arrangements, and a sound that mixed the sacred and the dramatic with almost operatic intensity. The band also featured Enrico Olivieri on keyboards, who took a central role in compositions with his dense organs and synthesizers. The instrumental foundation was supported by Roberto Turbitosi on bass and Mario Natali on drums, creating heavy and emotive atmospheres. Their music wasn't just technical, it was a call to spiritual reflection. The album Inferno, released in 1973, is a powerful adaptation of the first part of Dante Alighieri's Divine Comedy. Each track represents a circle of hell, with heavy atmospheres, poetic recitation, and symphonic explosions. A dark, theatrical, and profound record that became one of the pillars of conceptual Italian prog.
Giorno d'agosto, quando sfumò la sua vita,
Rovescio della Medaglia began its journey in the early 70s with a harder rock edge, but soon surrendered to the complexity of progressive rock. The band was composed of Enzo Vita on guitar, Stefano Urso on bass, Gino Campoli on drums, Pino Ballarini on vocals, and finally Franco Di Sabatino on keyboards. Its strength lay in its instrumental weight, combined with clear artistic ambition. Over the years, they evolved from a raw sound to more sophisticated arrangements, flirting with classical music and theatricality. With the support of Maestro Luis Enriquez Bacalov, they dived headfirst into epic compositions and cinematic atmospheres, with string arrangements that elevated the dramatic impact of their music. Released in 1973, the album Contaminazione is a masterpiece that blends progressive rock with direct influences from Bach. The record tells a fictional story of an 18th century musician involved with occult forces and internal conflicts. A true Baroque and psychedelic journey, intense and sophisticated, that remains a landmark of Italian Prog. Quella, Vecchia, Locanda was one of the most delicate and sophisticated bands of Italian Prog. Formed in Rome, it was known for the striking use of the classical violin, which brought a Baroque touch to the group's sound, an instrument initially played by Donald Lax, who was later replaced by Claudio Felice. The soft vocals of Giorgio Giorgi and the elegant arrangements completed the chamber-like and dreamlike atmosphere of the compositions. The group, although having released only 2 albums, left a deep mark with its introspective and well-constructed music. Using flutes, acoustic pianos, and complex harmonies, the band avoided gratuitous virtuosity and preferred a poetic and emotional approach. Released in 1974, the album Il Tempo della Gioia is a lyrical, subtle work full of beauty. Each track is like a sonic tale, intertwining melancholy and hope in careful arrangements. An album that demands attentive listening and rewards with moments of true musical peace, like a final sigh of progressive romanticism. These bands didn't just participate in the golden age of Italian Prog. They helped shape it. Their works live on, crossing generations, enchanting attentive ears and curious hearts. This was just the beginning. Soon, we'll be back with new episodes to explore this fascinating universe even further, including renowned names that continue to inspire musicians and listeners worldwide. If you enjoyed the Sonic Journey, don't forget to like and subscribe, and tell us in the comments which of these bands surprised you the most, or which other one deserves a spotlight in the next parts. See you soon, and long live progressive rock.